Imagine a fleet of boats sailing across the sea, carrying not weapons, not armies, but people of different ages, nationalities, and religions. On board, they are not chasing profit or power, they are carrying a message. That message is hope, solidarity, and resistance. This is the Global Flotilla, sometimes known as the Freedom Flotilla or the Sumud Flotilla, sailing toward Gaza. But what exactly is this flotilla? Why is it important? And why has it captured the attention of governments, the media, and human rights groups around the world? In this video, we'll explore the story of the flotilla, what Sumud really means, and why these boats, though small, carry such a powerful global voice. To understand the flotilla, we need to first talk about Gaza itself. Gaza is a small strip of land, home to around 2 million people. For more than 15 years, Gaza has been under a blockade that severely restricts movement in and out. This blockade is enforced by land, air, and sea. For the people who live there, it means that everything from food supplies to medical equipment, from building materials to fuel, is tightly controlled and often in short supply. Many basic needs cannot be met easily. Even leaving Gaza for urgent medical treatment is complicated, and most of the population cannot travel freely. This has created what many describe as one of the most densely populated and isolated areas in the world. Now imagine being in that situation, unable to leave, unable to bring in what? Your community needs, cut off from the world. That is the daily reality of Gaza's people. And this is where the idea of the flotilla comes in. The Global Flotilla is a collective effort of international activists and organizations who believe that the blockade is unjust and must end. Their method of protest is unique. Instead of demonstrations on land, they take to the sea. They organize boats, fill them with activists and sometimes humanitarian aid, and attempt to sail directly to Gaza, symbolically breaking the naval blockade. The word Sumud is central here. In Arabic, Sumud means steadfastness. It describes the spirit of refusing to give up despite enormous challenges. For Palestinians, Sumud represents the daily struggle to live, to resist despair, and to hold on to their rights and dignity. By calling it the Sumud Flotilla, the organizers emphasize that this mission is not just about aid, but about resilience. It is about saying, we will keep trying, we will not be silent, and we will not abandon Gaza. The flotillas are usually made up of small ships and boats, sometimes sailing from European ports or from countries around the Mediterranean. The participants are volunteers, activists, doctors, journalists, religious leaders, and everyday citizens who want to make a statement. Many of them know they will likely not reach Gaza. In fact, in most cases, the boats are intercepted before they arrive, but for them, the act of sailing is itself a victory. Every time a boat sets out, it attracts global attention. Governments respond, media outlets report, and people around the world are reminded of Gaza's ongoing situation. So what happens when these boats try to enter Gaza's waters? In almost every case, they are stopped. Sometimes naval forces board the ships and tow them away. In some high-profile incidents, these confrontations have turned violent, leading to injuries and even deaths. But even when intercepted peacefully, the flotilla's story doesn't end there. The participants are often detained, questioned, and deported. Yet when they return home, they bring their experiences with them. They talk to the press, to their communities, and to governments, keeping Gaza's struggle in the public eye. One of the most significant impacts of the flotilla is the way it builds global solidarity. Participants come from all over the world: Europe, Asia, Africa, the Americas. They represent different cultures, religions, and backgrounds. Some are seasoned activists. Others are ordinary people inspired to act. This diversity sends a powerful message. The cause of Gaza is not limited to Palestinians or to the Middle East. It is a universal issue of human rights. When people from across the globe risk arrest or worse to show solidarity, it amplifies the message that the blockade is unacceptable. Critics of the flotilla argue that these actions are provocative or that aid should be delivered through official channels, but supporters respond that official channels are often blocked or heavily restricted, and that the point of the flotilla is not only to deliver aid, but to challenge the blockade itself. The flotilla is a form of nonviolent direct action. It is meant to expose the blockade, to make it visible, and to force the world to pay attention. Think of it like this: one small boat against a naval fleet. Obviously, the boat cannot win in military terms, but in terms of symbolism, that boat can send waves across the world. It can spark debate, inspire action, and pressure leaders. That is why these efforts, though often stopped before reaching Gaza, are seen as victories of awareness and solidarity. The Sumud Flotilla also reflects the broader idea of people power. Ordinary citizens, without governments or armies behind them, are taking action. They are saying, "We refuse to accept injustice as normal. We refuse to look away." And in today's world, where media can spread a story in seconds, these acts of courage resonate far beyond the sea. Videos, photos, and testimonies from flotilla participants are shared widely, ensuring that even if the boats don't dock in Gaza, their message does. It is also important to see the flotilla as part of a wider movement. Around the world, campaigns, boycotts, protests, and cultural events are all raising awareness about Gaza and Palestine. The flotilla is one piece of that puzzle, but a very visual and dramatic one. A boat on the open sea, carrying people who risk their freedom, captures the imagination in a way that few other protests can. So, what does the Global Flotilla teach us? It shows us that resistance can take many forms. It doesn't always require weapons or violence. Sometimes it takes the form of persistence, creativity, and solidarity. It shows us that people are willing to cross borders, face arrest, and challenge powerful forces for the sake of justice, and it reminds us of the human spirit of Sumud, that even in the face of overwhelming obstacles, people will keep moving forward. As we end this video, let's reflect on this. The flotilla is not only about Gaza, it's about all of us. It's about asking, do we stand by silently when others are suffering? Or do we take a stand, however small, to say that every person deserves dignity and freedom? The Global Flotilla, the Sumud Flotilla, answers that question with action. It is a reminder that even the smallest boat with the right message can make waves across the entire world.